League One teams will be joining the elite, but there's still the playoffs and maybe a grand final appearance at stake for the others, and that includes the Sheffield Eagles and Featherstone Rovers, who meet here at the Don Valley Stadium this evening. It's 6th versus 7th in the table, with Featherstone looking to go above the Eagles. This is how Sheffield line up, with Johnny Woodcock at full-back. Then it's Danny Mills, James Ford, Damien Reid and Rob Warrancy, just returned from Student World Cup duty with Wales. Brendan Lindsay and Dominic Brambani. And in the forwards, Jack Howison, Grant Edwards, Mitchell Stringer, Alex Zostak, Matt Whitaker and Adam Hayes. And on the bench, Paul Pickering, Tom Buckingham, Craig Brown and Ryan Hepworth for coach Mark Aston. Featherstone Rovers, on the back of a thrilling 30-all draw with the leaders Salford City Reds in their last game, have Loz Wildboar at full-back, Wayne Price, Tom Saxton, Steve Dooler, Andy Kirk returning to the side, Andy Kane and Anthony Thackeray, so no place for Paul Hanford. In the forwards, Tony Tonks, Joe McLaughlin, Stuart Dickens, Jamie Field, Joe Hurst and Sean Hesketh. Tom Hockey unfit for Rovers tonight. And on the bench, Jack Lee, Matty Dale, James Houston and Richard Blakeway for coach Danny Evans. And the rain, as you can see, just starting to fall here at the Don Valley Stadium. Referee is Robert Hicks, who'll have charge of this game. It's been a very, very muggy day and a very close and humid evening here, but maybe the rain is perhaps going to lift the temperature, and a little bit of a breeze blowing round the stadium as well, as Featherstone Rovers prepare to get the game underway. And both these sides will be in confident mood. Sheffield after a win against Dewsbury in their last game, and as I said, Featherstone having fought out a 30-all draw with Salford City Reds in their last game. And it's Featherstone who get us underway, and I think we're expecting a few points here, Terry.
And because of the confidence that Featherstone shown last week when they played Salford, going into the second half of that game, they were actually beating them 28 points to 4. So it shows that they are a very confident side, and they'll be looking for more of a professional approach today in this game. If they beat Sheffield by more than 12 points, they'll actually jump ahead against them in the competition.
Featherstone were looking like relegation material at one stage, but they've moved up the table recently. They lost 5 from 6 in May and June, but they're unbeaten in their last 3. Of course, David Hobbs parted company with the club, and new coaching dynasty, Danny Evans, assisted by John Sharp, once of Huddersfield Giants, in a consultancy capacity, and they're unbeaten since they took the helm. That's in the last 3 games. So they've stopped the rot and they've moved up the table. There they are, side by side. John Sharp lending his coaching know-how to Danny Evans, 33 years of age and a former Featherstone stalwart, of course. And it's his side in control at the moment, and the rain just starting to get a little bit heavier as well. So whether that will have an effect on things, I don't know, Barry.
Knowing John Sharp as I do, he's a very defensive orientated coach, teaches his teams to be very line proud. Featherstone so far this year letting in and shipping in far too many points. I know that's something he's going to work with Danny Evans on, try and eradicate the mistakes, work on the defence and play a free-flowing rugby league.
McLaughlin to Thackeray, and Thackeray's little kick in is a good one. Woodcock across there. Woodcock fields the ball, but pinned in his corner. There is Mark Aston in charge at Sheffield Eagles, not just a coach, of course, he's involved in so many other capacities at the club and has been for so long.
And this Featherstone side, this is a part of the pitch where they work extremely hard. They've got very good kickers of the ball in Andy Kane, in Anthony Thackeray, and they really do look to put pressure on the opposition and try to force the error.
Stuart, you've just left your hand in.
And Robert Hicks awards the first penalty of the game to the Sheffield Eagles, penalising Stuart Dickens for leaving a hand in, he says.
It's Stuart Dickens just trying to buy his side an extra penalty so defences can be organised and they can get some pressure on, like they say. Coach Robert Hicks putting pressure on right away, making his thoughts well known.
Jack Howison, the Sheffield Eagles captain, driving that ball in just on the halfway line. And so Sheffield, their first foray into Featherstone territory. Is Whitaker, who was tackled, and Brambani having to stretch for that ball. 3 tackles gone. Brambani, there was a little knock on there, says Robert Hicks. He did well to spot that. I think it was by Dominic Brambani.
The eagerness of the Sheffield player to get up and play the ball, but as you can see there, Tony Tonks all over him, wouldn't let Alex Shostak help to play the ball, deemed to knock the ball on, but an easy direct route the way that Sheffield are playing. Matty Whittaker come up with a real strong surge up the middle of the pitch, and they're trying to target early on in the game Anthony Thackeray. They feel that he's a weakness in defence and they're trying to take some energy away from him.
That was good work from Brendan Lindsay, but now it's Wayne Price trying to bring the ball out for the Featherstone Rovers team. Rovers up the middle.
3 there. Move, Sheffield.
3 tackles gone. McLaughlin. As Tonks gets to his feet eventually to play the ball, the Featherstone supporters appealing for a penalty from referee Hicks there. And then it's Dickens, and Dickens is driven back. On the inside with Jamie Fields. Field playing that ball. It's on the last tackle. Neat little kick, and Woodcock having nothing to do with that.
And again, Anthony Thackeray targeting this left-hand side for the Sheffield side, trying to put the pressure under Woodcock. Very good kick returner of the ball, and trying to turn back the big players in. Danny Mills is very good coming forward. But Anthony Thackeray, you just watch for him in the game. He likes to show and go, he likes to drop off the air balls, but he's got speed to burn.
Yeah, Featherstone with several lone recruits in their side at the moment. Thackeray is one of them. Here is Warrency. Warrency is the guy with pace, as he showed in the Student World Cup. Playing for Wales, he scored a couple of tries against France in a quarter-final tie. He got a cracking try against Australia as well. He's just back this week from those Student World Cup exploits. And then the penalty against Featherstone, and they're just caught by the relentless drive forward from Sheffield there.
And those are the errors that you cannot make. Speed coming out from dummy half, nice low-risk plays, means that defences aren't organised, they aren't set, and that's how you give the penalties away.
The ball with Shostak.
That's one. Keep working.
Just crawling his way a bit further forward, plays the ball neatly that time. Stringer does well to take that pass. Lindsay, it's Brambani, I think, who's gone for the line, and Brambani has the try. Woodcock, I beg your pardon, it's Johnny Woodcock popping up there for his 10th try of the season, and first real threat on the line from Sheffield Eagles, and Woodcock it was who finished it off, making his 70th appearance for the Eagles tonight, and finishing off a great attack from them.
And this is the play. Johnny Woodcock sniffs right round the middle. He comes up with these plays time after time, and so strong to get that ball down. 3 guys, but you've got to credit Rob Warranty. He was the one who put the team under, the Featherstone team under pressure, but look at the upper body strength of Johnny Woodcock. A very dangerous player in broken field, and this Featherstone side have really got to control the ruck, to control Johnny Woodcock.
Well, he is a points machine, Johnny Woodcock, the PE teacher from Rotherham. 7 tries in his last 5 games now. And Mark Aston with plenty to be cheerful about already. Well, he's a cheerful guy by inclination, Mark Aston. And now Woodcock to convert his own try then, just to the left of the posts. And gentle swing of the boots. And Sheffield 6-0 up, first try of the game, and all the points coming from Johnny Woodcock.
The penalty was conceded and they gave up the field position. But what I like about this Sheffield side is the lot of movement. You see the offload from Mitchell Stringer there. It's a scattered defence, giving Johnny Woodcock every opportunity to get near that line, and once he gets near it, there's no stopping him.
Over 600 points for this Sheffield Eagles club. Here is Stringer, and there was some debate before the game. We were watching the Sheffield Eagles warm up, and Mitch Stringer certainly didn't look fully fit, did he?
He looked injured, didn't he? There's a guy who's trying to lift him. Sean Hesketh, he'll come out of the line. If you're looking for him, he's got the bleached blonde hair. But you look at Mitch Stringer, he did struggle in the warm-up, but he's a player who wants to be out. He knows how vitally important this game is to his Sheffield side, and he's trying to do everything to inspire them to that win.
Off goes Grant Edwards, keeping the ball alive they are now. Here's Lindsay. Lindsay over the halfway line, and Sheffield again coming forward at some pace, and Whittaker looking to carry on the momentum here.
5 and last.
He's tackled,
Stand up. Hold.
and that's the 5th tackle. And the ball is back with Woodcock, and Woodcock will hoist that one. And it's a high steepling kick, and Wildboar has lost it. The ball has gone backwards, says Robert Hicks. That is a let-off for Featherstone Rovers. The Rovers have got other problems. Let's go down to the sidelines. Ben.
That's right, Bill. As Johnny Woodcock was in the act of scoring that try, the last line of defence was Steve Dooler, the Featherstone centre. May have been a little bit out of position there because he just dislocated his finger, had it strapped up and reset, and was just joining the defensive line when Johnny Woodcock scored that try.
A painful start then for Steve Dooler and for Featherstone Rovers, and more pain there. Knock on from Wayne Price it was, although Featherstone feeling they should have had the penalty. They're coming down the short side with Ford. Ford shows the ball and goes. Oh, and then I thought he was in there. So did Danny Mills, and somehow it was great defence in the end to deny James Ford, and it was Wayne Price just did enough, just redeeming himself then.
James Ford, what was he doing? He was virtually over the line with the greasy conditions. Should have just gone to ground and slid over.
And that is a penalty. Whittaker acknowledging such.
It's probably relieving.
Did he not score?
Because he decided to pass the ball, simple as that. If he'd have gone down, he'd have slid over. It's Matthew Whittaker giving away field position. Sheffield's turn now. Here, if his body angle gets low, he's actually over the line without the ball. That tells you that he would have scored.
Stand up. Stand up.
He did all the hard work, made the space for himself, and then Wayne Price just did enough, just put him off.
Perhaps he thought it was too easy, Bill.
2 there. Stand up now. Stand up.
So Featherstone Rovers are let off, and then the penalty, and that's put them in good position. They get another penalty. And offside again against Sheffield. A bit of a tussle there between Stringer and Tonks.
A couple of relieving penalties for this Featherstone side. Been under the cosh, missed 8 tackles within the first 10 minutes, and that's something that normally they don't do. And even going for this penalty now to try and compose themselves, get back into the game, get things sorted around the ruck, because they really are losing the ruck and losing the go forward against this Featherstone side.
The Featherstone coaching triumvirate there, John Sharp, Danny Evans, Stuart Sheard alongside John Sharp as well, another new member of the coaching backroom there. And the rain getting heavier here. Knew it was too good to last. And Stuart Dickens, this goal-kicking prop forward, 79 goals already to his name this season, and this penalty to get Featherstone Rovers on the scoreboard at least. Put your money on Stuart Dickens to land this one, which he does. 6-2 the scoreline in favour of the Sheffield Eagles.
We're seeing rugby league that this next set is the most important set of 6 that this Featherstone team have had since the kick-off. They've got to complete this set. We see so many times that the penalties, where it's a drop ball or a forced pass, they've got to complete this set of 6 and get down into the Sheffield side. And as I said before earlier on in the game, they've got to put pressure on the Sheffield side.
Just waiting for the ball to reach the middle of the field, so Dominic Brambani can get us underway again. Brambani in the starting lineup for the Sheffield Eagles tonight. Dane McDonald, who was in that position, wearing the 7 shirt, unfit, so Brambani gets his chance. Now here's Sean Hesketh, that unmistakable blonde bombshell. There are other reasons to notice Hesketh. He certainly stood out when we saw Featherstone Rovers take on the Celtic Crusaders a few weeks ago. Had a storming game there.
Very dangerous with the ball, Sean Hesketh, as well. He can offload the ball, he can pre-line pass as well, so he's not just all about big shots and defence.
4 tackles gone as Joe Hurst is tackled. Hurst, another player on loan. He's on loan from Wakefield at the moment. Stringer with the tackle. Well, he doesn't seem to be feeling any ill effects from the knock he had in the warm-up. He certainly pulled up and went off the field back to the dressing room while the rest of the team were still warming up.
That's good kick chase pressure by Jamie Field from the Featherstone side. You've got to control these guys, because early on the penalty come from the speed at which Johnny Woodcock, Danny Mills and Rob Warrington return the ball. There's big Mick Stringer.
Well, he's defying the pain, that's for sure.
10 metres. Stand up.
One Wonder how long he's going to stay out there. Looked like an ankle problem. There he is, and shrugs aside the first challenge from Steve Dula. Dula's had his own problems, of course, with that dislocated finger. Jamie Field making the tackle. Oh, Howison, Hesketh came for it. Well, it's great when it comes off.
Oh, he's wobbling now, though. He's wobbling now. You're right, Bill. You're a magician when you get it to come off, but when it doesn't, you end up looking like Sean Hesketh, like young Bambi. Here we go, look at this. Boof.
Well, Jack Howison, the former Hemel Hempstead player, is a substantial character, the Scottish international.
We see it all the time in National League. They're a little bit thicker set, should I say, and the collisions are just as intense. A little bit more force and impact on them, but the same result.
So Featherstone Rovers in possession on their own 20-metre line. Field, good hands, Thackeray. A tackle from Grant Edwards it was. Still inside their own half as Dula plays the ball. 4 tackles gone now.
I'm just watching poor Sean Hesketh in back play there. He's got knocked senseless, tried to put pressure on the Sheffield player, knocked himself doolally, and all he gets off his physio is a pat on the back and a drink of water.
10 metres, guys, have a look.
On the last now with Featherstone Rovers, and the kick from Kane. It's again deep, and it's with Mills now, and Mills and Warrensey trying to bamboozle the Sheffield defence, and it's Mills who carries the ball on.
They're looking to link up, and every time there's a kick, whether it's to Rob Warrensey or Danny Mills, they're looking to link up and try and get that front foot for the big guys. As you see the way that the game's played, Jack Howison and Mick Stringer chew up the yards up the middle of the pitch, but these guys are so important on getting the quick play of the balls.
And there is the footwork from Warrensey. Warrensey looking to get to his feet to play the ball, gets the penalty, and that was as clear as daylight. Tony Tonks pleading his innocence, but Warrensey was trying to play the ball, I think, when he came in there.
Warrensey and Danny Mills are like lightning, and Tony Tonks really thinking he's doing the best for his team, just giving away 25-30 metres. Look at the footwork, up, down, get up to play it. And Tony Tonks says, no, you can't play it that fast, we're in trouble here.
Here comes Sheffield Eagles again. Here's Woodcock, the try scorer. Woodcock bouncing off one. And then he is tackled. McLaughlin it was with the tackle. Here is Howison again, running strongly, Jack Howison. Oh, the ball goes backwards, says the referee, and it's retrieved by Jostak. Still going, Alex Jostak, the Scottish international, plays the ball. Here is Stringer, big Mick Stringer, past the first line of defence, and he left Tonks for dead there. Lindsay on for Woodcock. Whittaker now, Whittaker for Ford, and now has Ford got over the line this time? He's just short. And in fact, Robert Hicks, I think, is going to ask for a video ref ruling.
I'd already called it last tackle.
No,
it's not.
Just consulting his touch judge and just checking where the ball ended up there. So they play on the last now. Lindsay puts it, oh, well taken, Tonks. What a catch that was.
He didn't want that in his hand, did he? He just looked at his hands and it had popped into it, but Mick Stringer, whenever you get near the line, that's where he's going to come alive. Lovely little kick. Oop! I've got it in my hand. He's not sure he can go the length of the field. I think most of us in the stadium are.
Stand up, stand up, stand up.
And that's how close Ford was that time. So that's twice he's been on or near the... Well, he's got that ball down.
The referee had actually called held over. That's why he said that you got to play the ball at called held on your second effort.
Penalty
Sheffield
awarded against Sheffield Eagles there.
Just trying to slow Featherstone down, as Featherstone have tried to show Sheffield the same.
It's a Cumberland throw from Mick Stringer. Brought down McLaughlin, but it's Featherstone Rovers coming forward now. Just about 20 metres out they are now. Kane, darting run, and then Houston plays the ball. Opportunity for Thackeray, and Thackeray is over the line. And the try from Anthony Thackeray, his second of the season, on loan at the moment. from the Castleford Tigers, and a hit with those Featherstone Rovers supporters, and he made that look so easy. The great footwork and speed off the mark from Anthony Thackeray there.
We talked about Johnny Woodcock on the Sheffield side. Anthony Thackeray, we've already commented on today. Give him the ball in hand, he wants to run at defenders, he shows it, he goes himself, steps off, and a word of where the try line is. Well, he's got some big plays, he'll show the ball, he'll take the guys on, he's not scared of getting a belt, and he knows that all he has to do is carry Johnny Woodcock over the try line. He's so dangerous, he just stood Matty Whitaker up there. Matty Whitaker thought he was going to pass the ball inside, and just a tremendous try from what is Anthony Thackeray, a very, very clever player.
So Dickens, this to put his side in front now, and that he does with another successful conversion. And Featherstone Rovers lead here at the Don Valley Stadium by 8 points to 6 now after Anthony Thackeray with the try. He's a bit of a nomad, or has been a bit of a nomad, but now making his home with Featherstone Rovers.
He'll be thrilled to bits with that. There's not many times in the game of rugby league when you try a dummy like that somebody buys it, but Matty Whitaker defending his own line, wasn't sure to take the player that had the ball or go to the player that he thought was going to get it.
And Barney's restart is hanging high in the air, and here comes Hesketh.
Tackle one, stand up, stand up.
Tackled by Brendan Lindsay. So Featherstone 6-0 down, now ahead by 8 points to 6.
People always talk in the games, why do you need your forwards? You talk about your classy players, you like your Bram Barney, Lindsay, your Kane and Thackeray's, but you need your forward to get you in that field position and get you on and quick play the ball. So you can do that, you can get the ball in hand and run at the opposition with a broken line. And both of these teams have been weighing each other up. The Featherstone players have been getting turned on the back a lot more easy than the Sheffield guys. If there's one thing what Featherstone need to improve on, and what Danny Evans will be saying, is you've got to start winning the floor with the ball in hand.
Saxton it was playing the ball, Kane it is with the kick. Oh, Danny Mills, that one going straight under his feet. And then when he gets it back, the Featherstone chasers are right on him, and so Warrensey again trying to use his footwork to get away, and doing so to good effect.
The prop forwards are very important, I'll always say that, but these three guys at the back, your two wingers, they need to make as much yardage on players 1 and 2 as they can to get the forwards in the position. You can't afford to surrender the ball as close to that as your own line.
Risky offload from Whitaker to Mills there, that could have gone horribly wrong. This is just a suggestion, he might have gone forward in fact, but this is good defence from Featherstone, really working hard to pin this Sheffield side down. Grant Edwards making some yards for his side, the Sheffield Eagles hooker, but that's the 5th tackle. Needs to be a good kick from Lindsay. Will he go for a 40-20? Well, he's looking for that, but it's straight into the arms of Wildboar, and he'll bring it back. Good chase from Sheffield though, denies him much yardage. Now here's Wayne Price. Oh, and Price wasn't very happy with that pass, I don't think. Down by his toes.
I think Thackeray expecting Wayne Price to run forward and run onto it, and Wayne Price wanted to catch it before he started to run.
Nearly ended up in tears. Here's Hesketh now. Seems to have recovered from the knock he took. Whitaker with the tackle. Hesketh gets to his feet to play the ball. Kane now. Field, oh, and Field, the pass was intended for Wildboar, but it was just behind him, or Wildboar had overrun it, one or the other.
I watched Featherstone warm up, and they were practicing at this a lot. Dropping off a player, coming back on the angle, looking to hit those big fellas, the tired fellas. Mitch Stringer, Jack Howison, they're the players that are going to tire. Those are the ones that you can target and get the most missed tackles and errors from.
Here's Danny Mills now, off his wing, involved in the action. Now Warrensey again looking for the ball, looking for some action. Wants to go on the outside, and eventually 3 of them bring him down. 4 of them there.
That's poor, that Tez. Just like you were saying, win the ball, win the floor with the ball. You've got to win it without as well. Warrensey still was the first person to get up and play the ball, with 3 Featherstone players in attendance, as it happened there again.
And here he is once more. Well, he's come back from Australia full of beans, Rob Warrensey. Plays the ball. Bram Barney now will hoist the kick. Mills will put pressure on Price, but Price is able to gather that one well. Or has Mills got it? Well, I thought Price had got that one. Mills then seemed to come up with it. So who had possession and who was offside? Was Danny Mills onside when that kick was put up? He gets the congratulations, but has he got the try?
You would have bet your bottom dollar that Wayne Price had that ball in his hands there. There goes the kick. He's definitely onside. He's behind the line. There, the number 2, Danny Mills. He's hugging his touchline. Here he goes. Look at that for a jump. He just totally gets over the top of him.
He doesn't lose. Right, Bill. I think he stripped it. It's whether you judge.
Well, even if he strips it, it's one-on-one. So he jumps.
What I was looking for, had he jumped and caught it in his in goal, which he hasn't, so that's irrelevant. He's took it off him.
He doesn't lose possession of the ball.
That's a try. That's a try.
So Thierry Alibert is the video ref with this decision. Did Danny Mills get control of that ball? He did. He gets the try, and the Eagles are back in front. Well, we knew there were going to be some points tonight. We've had a couple of tries from Sheffield already, the second of them from Danny Mills to take his tally for the season to 13 and make him the Eagles' top scorer so far.
It's always easier to run onto the ball and stand underneath a ball and try and catch it. Danny Mills hugs his touchline, gets over the top of Wayne Price and just comes up with the ball. It's a brave play. You've got to be brave to jump for these balls. Wayne Price tries everything, but Danny Mills just comes in, eyes on the ball, takes the ball and scores the try for the Eagles.
So Johnny Woodcock, scorer of that first Sheffield try, converted by him as well now, looking to increase the Eagles' advantage. Well, they threatened on that wing a couple of times with James Ford going close. In the end, they went to the air and it came off for Mills, and it's come off for Woodcock that time with that conversion. He's landed that, and Sheffield ahead by 12 points to 8 now here at the Don Valley against Featherstone Rovers.
That's why in rugby league it's so important to have an attacking kicking game. If you can get a telepathy between a half-back and a couple of wingers, you can put pressure on teams on last plays, and that's what you want to do. Play out your sets of 6, use your full complement of tackles, and then make it a competition on the last tackle.
The Eagles back in front. They have been hard to beat on their own patch this season. Only Whitehaven and Lee have won here, and among their victims, Celtic and Halifax, and Salford went away with a draw as well. But then again, Featherstone drew with Salford last Saturday, so not a lot to choose between these two. I wonder if there'll be much to choose between Halifax and Salford next Thursday, 7:30, Sky Sports 3. What a game that should be, the top 2 in National League 1. And a knock-on early in this set of 6, and Sheffield have squandered possession.
Just trying to get numbers in the Featherstone side. Joe McLaughlin is really trying to lift his teammates. Saw him at the back of the scrum there, going in, saying to the players that we need to start winning the ruck, we need to start getting all the possession and playing him in the right field position.
So Featherstone, from that scrum, have possession, but they've gone backwards. Good defence from Sheffield that time to drive Tom Saxton back. And Mitchell Stringer has had to give way. Tom Buckingham has come on.
Move it, 10 metres, come on!
But Featherstone looking to get back in front here. Certainly go back level. Hesketh got ball and opposition player James Ford at the same time there. Hesketh plays the ball. They're on the charge with Matty Dale, and Dale trying to reverse towards the try line. He stopped just short. Kane, little step from him, and Wildborber was on his shoulder. That's the 5th tackle.
2 feet.
Needs to be a good kick here. Will it be McLaughlin going on his own? He pops the ball up, and they are in for the try, and it's Matty Dale just on the field with the try. The scores are level again.
And that was just a simple try. The pressure that Joe McLaughlin and the rest of the boys were putting on the Sheffield side in their own 25, trying to force that error, trying to lift the teammates and get them back into this game. And Matty Dale come up with the simplest of tries there. All they had to do was get the ball off the ruck, run as hard as he can, straight onto the ball. Andy Kane causes so many trouble when he's got the ball in hand. Loz Wildbow, another danger man. Loz Wildbow just comes up with the simple plays time after time, but that is how to run onto a ball. He's picked out Johnny Woodcock and just running the ball straight at him. Also, there's Paul Pickering who they've sent on, and when you get a big guy running at a little guy, 9 times out of 10, the big guy's going to win.
Wildbow succeeds with the conversion. It's Sheffield 12, Featherstone Rovers 14. And Matty Dale, I think that was only his second touch since he came on the field, and it was a pretty effective one.
As Tez has said, sometimes you've just got to be big, brave and strong. It's Matty Whitaker again, who's unsure whether to go for the guy with the ball or the guy who he thinks will receive it. Gets caught in no man's land, and Featherstone come up with the points.
Matty Dale, another low knee. Well, Huddersfield ahead at Wigan in tonight's Super League game. That would be a shock if the Giants were to come away from the JJB with a win. 8-0 they lead at the moment. Of course, Salford against Lee as well on tonight. Big game in National League 1. The other big game in National League 1. First place Salford against fourth place Lee Centurions. Here's Sean Hesketh.
There's very intelligent people in rugby league, Bill, believe that this is the most competitive competition in the game of rugby league. Last week's fixtures were won by a point, a couple of points, a try maybe, so it's very competitive, this league.
Terry was saying that earlier on. Was that who you're referring to?
No, I said intelligent. I was talking about Mystery and Proctor.
Rob Warrancy looking to bring that ball away. And Featherstone back in front after that try from Matty Dale. But I'm sure we're going to get plenty more points in this game.
10 metres, movement!
Reed gets to his feet to play that ball. Brambani with the kick. It's a good deep one, but Wildbow is well positioned to bring that ball back.
He's very strong bringing that ball back in. He's very strong, very direct. And as I say, your back three are so important. They start the ball rolling. They need to get that speed and that pace and that intensity to the start of the set of 6.
Well, we said Mitch Stringer was struggling, or we thought he might be struggling. Let's find out with Ben.
As you mentioned, Bill, he did fall up in the warm-up. That, I'm told, was an issue with his strapping. It's the right ankle that's the problem, and the medical team have had that in some ice. He was due to be spelled anyway, so they have taken him from the field, but they are hopeful that he could return in the second half.
Well, there is Mitch Stringer. He's an important character in this Sheffield setup.
He's the joint top try scorer in the club.
Well, he
not
was.
many clubs can set up.
He was until Danny Mills scored his try. So he'll be wanting to get back on.
Even to be second, Bill, is an achievement for a front row forward.
Well, 12 tries, that's a great return from Mitch Stringer. Meanwhile, Featherstone had come up with a forward pass. It was Thackeray.
It's going to be tough for Mitch Stringer to get back onto the pitch. He hurt it in the warm-up, he went off. He's going to be sat there now icing it. It's just going to be getting stiffer and stiffer. And to get back on, it really does hurt when you've got to start trying to warm up, get a bit of movement back into your ankle. So if he does get back on the pitch, it'll be a brave, brave effort.
Mitch Stringer off the field. I think Jack Howison is as well, sitting in the dugout alongside him. There he is, and married 2 weeks ago to Emma, and his coach Mark Aston wouldn't let him go on a honeymoon.
And why should he? And why should he?
Stand up, move!
It's a tough cookie. Well, he's watching his side in a real tight contest here, trailing at the moment.
Work again, get up.
I've said it before, Bill, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have got married.
Rob, don't bounce around.
During the season, presumably.
I know what I mean.
Stand up, 13.
Here comes Sheffield Eagles. Brendan Lindsay, Whitaker goes without it, and Lindsay puts it into touch. Did he need to put it into touch?
Pressure that was put onto Matty Whitaker by the Featherstone side. They've just got to get up. Anthony Thackeray again coming up, just disrupting his mind of what was going on in his mind. But if you look at if you look at Mark Aston there's a guy next to him who had a lot to do with the Sheffield side in the early days, Howard Cartwright. He's a legend of this club, and he was the actual man who gave me my break in rugby league.
So we've got him to thank.
I know, I was just thinking that. Yep, so if anyone's got a problem with it, it's Howard Cartwright. But again, the eagerness to get up from this Featherstone side, play the ball, Brambini all over him, tries to get up in these greasy conditions, just lose it. But
it's a loose carry though, Tez. I say it every week, it's a loose carry and those can go either way. Get your thumb round the ball.
Well, that looked like a harsh decision on the Sheffield Eagles. That looked like a forward pass from Thackeray, it was. But it's Featherstone coming charging forward with Jack Lee now. He's off the bench and into the action. Here is Thackeray, he's got one try to his name already. Dale. And Sheffield having to defend their line valiantly now to deny Dale again. And that pass goes nowhere from Jack Lee, and it's snapped up by the Sheffield Eagles.
A very loose pass there. It looked like they were sending two attackers either side of one defender, and it ended up hitting nobody. Sheffield get the ball. Here we have, I think it might have even been forward as well, Bill.
Well, it was Brambani who got a hold of it, and another penalty, and this time it's offside against Danny Evans' side. Thoughtful looking coach.
They've got to improve the initial contact with these Sheffield players. They're just getting up, playing the ball too quick, and they're not getting back the 10 yards. That's because they're not dominating the ruck. As soon as you dominate the ruck, it's easy to get back the 10 yards on line with the referee.
Here's big Tom Buckingham. Tackled just about 15 metres out. The pass is a bad one, goes under the feet of Hepworth, but it's well retrieved by Paul Pickering.
Stand up, come on.
Two tackles gone. It was Lindsay, it was, who salvaged the situation. Whittaker has gone without that one, and having a horrible spell at the moment is Whittaker, but I don't think he appreciated that pass from Adam Hayes.
That was a hospital pass. He saw the defender, the Featherstone defender had already got in covered, tipped it on. Very poor decision there.
Sometimes you've got to just take the tackle, haven't you? In them conditions, to get the ball away to Matthew Whittaker there, Adam Hayes, there was no chance in the world that he was going to catch the ball. There was a couple of inches between them and just put too much pressure on his own teammates.
Mark Aston, as you saw, was not impressed by that. Hepworth and Buckingham with the tackle.
Stand up out the side.
Hepworth could have been penalised there when he came back in for a second attempt, in fact. So Sheffield
Stand up now.
squandering possession in a useful position, and Featherstone able to bring the ball away. And it's with Matty Dale again.
It's that inside pass again. It goes one off the ruck, back onto the inside, looking to catch the big fellas.
Come on, 12.
But Sheffield are handling everything that Featherstone are throwing at them.
Thackeray's kick, Woodcock. I think we'll see this one run dead. He does. He knows this ground, knows how the ball's going to behave. Seemed confident that that was going to be the end result of that kick from Thackeray. And a quick restart from the Sheffield Eagles, looking to get the ball wide early on. Whittaker takes the tackle from Wayne Price.
But again, 20 metres what they're making on the first tackle. Featherstone putting themselves under so much pressure, and again the speed guys come into the pitch.
And Warrensey has lost that ball. Well, he was keen to take on the big guys in the middle of the field, but there were too many of them for him there.
He's been very good, Rob Warrensey, as has Danny Mills. That speed has been caught, catching Featherstone out all night, and that's a great decision from Robert Hicks. Doing a very good impression of Luke from Big Brother tonight.
Warrensey got 2 tries in the Eagles' victory at Featherstone.
Stand up, stand up.
Back in March when they won 25-16. But the Eagles going through a little bit of a fallow patch at the moment. They were as high as 3rd in the table, but they've lost 2 of the last 3. That win at Dewsbury last weekend got them back on track, and Featherstone have lost the ball, and the game getting a little bit scrappy now. 5 minutes left in this first half.
Talk about Anthony Thackeray's play there. Tried to get the ball, tried to be probably too clever for Jamie Field. The ball went behind Jamie Field. He had a little look up, seeing what was in front of him. Matty Whittaker was there, coming out the line, trying to put the shot on him.
It's behind him, Tez, though, isn't it? You can't blame Jamie Field for that. They just need to take better chances, or take advantage of the chances that they're getting. They're just squandering too many. Could bite them on the backside.
So Sheffield have possession back. They trail by 2 points against Featherstone Rovers here. Got off to a good start with that early try, but Featherstone have come back strongly.
All the way.
Brambani's kick is a good one. That is a good one. Warrancy is on the chase and he's bearing down on Wild Boar, and he gets Wild Boar.
And that's what you want off your outside backs. You want them to get the quick play the balls, but you want them to lead the kick chase, because that's where them guys have got the speed. They can put pressure on the fullback, the opposition's wingers, and then this is the area of the pitch where the big guys take over. They like to get off the line out, control the ruck, and come up with some decent shots like that.
3 tackles gone, and Featherstone struggling to get out of their own 20 at the moment. Blakeway looking to make some territory for them. Whittaker and Hepworth doing the tackling. Here's Tom Saxton. Saxton trying to burst through. Oof, almost went without that one. That's the 5th tackle. Needs to be a good kick. It's Matty Dale who puts the kick in, and it's not a bad one. It's a good, strong, deep kick, and back on his own try line is Warrancy, and Warrancy nowhere for him to go this time. Was looking for some broken field. Half time at the Willows, and Salford ahead by 10 points to 4 in their game against Lee Centurions.
At that time, Tommy Saxton's so dangerous for the Featherstone side, but he's had to come over to the right-hand side, because predominantly they've been attacking down the right-hand side. In the first half, what they're trying to do, and you talk about inside balls, Baz, but what happens from that is they target the same guys, and then they try with the inside balls to target the same defenders.
And that was a forward pass, and Robert Hicks didn't need the Featherstone supporters to tell him that one.
Just overrunning the pass, putting in 2 minds. Paul Pickering just surrendering field position again. Every time Featherstone have been down at this end of the field, they've asked some questions of the Sheffield side. It's been coming away from their own line where they've struggled.
Just over the minute and a half to go in this first half, and Featherstone in the lead, and so are Huddersfield Giants by 18 points to 0 at Wigan. Well, what a turn-up that would be. The Giants ahead at the break at the JJB. Featherstone trying to make progress, but that's good defence from Sheffield. Nowhere for Kane to go that time. Another inside pass. Wild Boar it was in support. Plays the ball. Thackeray puts the kick in, and Whittaker does well to snap it up. The ball ricocheting off him, and then he reacted very quickly to gather it up. And Sheffield should see out this first half now.
And good awareness and urgency from Matty Whittaker to see where the ball was. He knew that his foot contacted the ball, and he's got to get down and get hold of that ball as quick as possible.
Now then, they've got Warrancy away on that right-hand side. This is an opportunity for Rob Warrancy up the middle of the field. Was there an obstruction? No. Just for a moment, I thought he was going to cross paths with Woodcock, but a great run from Warrancy. The last 20 seconds of this first half. Another kick for Mills to chase. Mills is on the end of this. So is Ford. And Ford, I think, has got that one down, but it's going to be surely a video ref decision. Did he bounce that one?
Did he actually ground it? This is why the video referee is so important. He just gets on the outside of Anthony Thackeray, who gets the speed to go around him.
Well, I tell you what, he came away, Ford came away shaking his head.
He wasn't confident,
he wasn't, but seen those given in Super League.
This is a better angle for the video referee, Thierry Alibert.
He's got downward pressure on that.
You have to say that'd be a try, Bill.
But it's up to the video ref, Thierry Alibert, to decide on that one. Well, Ford didn't think he had. Did the video ref? And it doesn't look as though he did. No. So a let-off right at the end for Featherstone Rovers, and that kick almost undoing them.
No, Thierry disagreeing with us. Didn't say that James Ford got downward pressure, but again, the break and the nailing of the try come from what that Rob Warranty on the right-hand side has been devastating this first half.
So that's a couple of efforts that Sheffield have had disallowed. Danny Evans comes off with his
pressure on Dan